They released a bioweapon on themselves. Not exactly, sir. Lieutenant Kowalski adjusted her glasses. A nervous habit she'd never quite shaken, despite the neural implants that had made corrective lenses obsolete decades ago. They released it on us, but humans appear to be completely immune. Davis snorted. Nobody's immune to the Gizra viral arsenal. Those bastards have been perfecting it for centuries. Well, we are, Kowalski swiped through several charts. And not just immune, we're absorbing it. The silence in the command center was thick enough to cut with a plasma knife. Define absorbing, Lieutenant. That's the thing, sir. I can't not precisely. Our scientists are still trying to figure it out. But it appears that human DNA is incorporating the viral code without mutation, without side effects. Davis leaned back in his chair, the ancient piece of furniture, real wood, a family heirloom creaking in protest, and the Gizrak decimated, sir. Their own bioweapon turned against them. Ironic, really. Ironies, a Davis muttered, rubbing his temple. And the other species in the coalition, varying degrees of effect the Terrans are experiencing, about 60% mortality. The Vex have developed a resistance, but are still suffering significant neural degradation. The Meridians, she paused. Well, they're actually experiencing some beneficial mutations. Lucky bastards. Davis stood up, pacing the length of the command center. So let me get this straight. The Gizra, in their infinite wisdom, decided to release a bioweapon designed to wipe out the coalition forces, and instead they've mostly hurt themselves, given the Meridian superpowers, and done absolutely nothing to humanity, except possibly make us what better? Potentially, sir. We're still studying the effects. Jesus, H. Christ on a pogo stick. Davis shook his head. Get me a secure channel to Earth Central. They're going to love this. Here's the thing about humans that the rest of the galaxy just can't seem to wrap their various sensory appendages around. We're basically walking garbage disposals with opposable thumbs and an unhealthy fascination with explosions. No, seriously, think about it. We evolved on a planet where pretty much everything was trying to kill us. Predators with teeth and claws, check plants loaded with toxins, double-check microscopic organisms that turn our insides into their personal party pads, triple-check with a cherry on top. And that's just the biological stuff. Don't even get me started on the geological death traps, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis. Earth basically spent millions of years trying to shake us off like a dog with fleas. But here's the kicker. Instead of dying like any sensible species, would we just adapted? We figured out which plants would kill us and which ones would just make us hallucinate. Entertainingly, we studied the microbes that made us sick and turned them into medicines. We even learned to predict when the planet was about to throw one of its temper tantrums. By the time we stumbled out into the galaxy, we were basically the interstellar equivalent of that one friend who can eat anything. You know, the one who looks at expired milk, shrugs and chugs it anyways. So when the Gizra decided to unleash their supposedly perfect bioweapon on the coalition forces, they really should have done their homework on human biology first. So what you're telling me, General Hammond's holographic projection flickered slightly as he leaned forward, is that this virus is actually giving our troops upgrades. Dr. Eliza Vaughn nodded, her excitement barely contained. It's more complex than that, but essentially yes, the viral DNA contains sequences that enhance certain cognitive functions, muscle efficiency, even sensory perception, but only in humans, and we have no idea why. Well, Dr. Vaughn tilted her head. We have theories. The most compelling one has to do with human junk. DNA, junk DNA. Hammond raised an eyebrow. It's a bit of a misnomer, actually. For decades, scientists thought that large portions of our genome were useless evolutionary leftovers, but we now know that much of this so-called junk actually regulates gene expression. Get to the point, doctor, right? Sorry, she cleared her throat. Humans have an unusually high percentage of viral remnants in our DNA. About 8% of our genome consists of ancient viral code that our ancestors were infected with and subsequently incorporated. It's one of the ways we evolved so rapidly. So what you're saying is the Gizra virus isn't affecting us negatively because our DNA already contains similar viral sequences. Our bodies recognize parts of it as self, but instead of just neutralizing it, we're upgrading using the new code as a template for enhancements. Hammond fell silent. Processing this information, and the Gizrak themselves devastated their genetic structure, is too rigid, Too perfect, they engineered their own genome to be resistant to mutations. Centuries ago, it was supposed to make them invulnerable to disease, but it also made them unable to adapt precisely when their virus mutated, which ironically was probable.